What's up, guys? Abstract Tiger Productions here. I'm Chris.
I'm Drew.
And we are here with another fun little animation video. This time, not by Jaden Animations, but by another animator, obviously, because it is animation.
You're cheating on Jaden, I'm telling. Her and Ari. No, I'm just kidding. All right.
Okay. This is by... the channel is YoungYongTales. I will have a link to the channel in the description, along with a separate link for this particular video, which we are going to partake of the video, which is called "This Kid Tried to Eat Me." An interesting title.
Cannibalism.
Yeah. Okay. One thing I will give you a little bit of background, because I have done a little bit, his character that he has shaped his avatar in the animations to be like a block of tofu.
Oh, nice.
That's
okay.
Yeah. To make it a little bit more,
Tofu's awesome.
Yeah.
Have you tried it?
I don't know if I have. I may have. If I did, it was way back in 2009 and England somewhere.
Nice.
So
I get it a lot with those take-home Chinese dinners.
Oh, okay.
And they'll use tofu as a binder, and so you can taste it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, having said that, I proposed this idea to you. Have you watch this, and you agreed to this? So yay!
There is consent.
Yes. I have seen this episode, and I thought it would be perfect to react to because it's relatable in a lot of different ways. Not necessarily the eating part.
I was gonna say I've never been threatened with cannibalism.
No, I haven't either, but the video will explain itself, I'm sure. So, ready to get into this?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let the video begin. I don't know why I did that. Whatever. Just to be different, I guess. Break the norm. Gotta get out of the box, The bento box.
Bento box.
Call back to the Jaden animation.
You're putting things in a box. It shouldn't be this difficult.
That's what a bento box is. It's food in box. Sorry. All right.
Mama's cookies. Stand.
Rice cracker. All right. Play.
Hey everyone, in celebration of this channel reaching 400,000 subs, CrowdMade has now released a plush version of me. It's
I
a
want
Tofu
it!
Plus plushie, aka the Toshi. So if you are interested, be sure to get your Toshi over at crowdmade.com.
Looks like an adipose.
It does. It looks like an adipose plushie. But
that's awesome.
Your purchase is deeply appreciated, but as always, I'm just grateful for you watching my videos. So with that being said, let's start the video. Alright, so question. Have you ever been bit before?
I have.
Bitten,
Was
yes.
it serious? Personally, for me, I can say yes, I have, but those were pretty minor.
Pins?
And there are definitely some scary things to get bit by, like whether it be from a shark, an alligator, a snake, recluse spider, rabid animals, dinosaurs. But one thing that surprised me was actually how dangerous a human bite is. Well, according to Healthline.com, because of the bacteria in the human mouth, a human bite can easily lead to infection. See a doctor about any bite that breaks the skin. So, with that being said, in the past, yes, I have been bitten by mosquitoes, ants, and a few times lizards. But that was because I was really young and being an idiot. However, none of those come even close to when I got bit by a human thing a few months ago. And I wasn't being an idiot. That's what this video is about. The time I got bit by a human being for no reason, and I am still pretty salty about it. So, yeah. It was a dark, cloudy, rainy morning. Probably a foreshadowing of my impending doom. And our church was holding its monthly program of Kids Church. Now, before I go any further, yes, I do go to church. It's not a big deal, so don't ask me what kind or whatever. All I'm gonna say is that as long as what you believe teaches you to love others and doesn't hurt anyone or anything, then cool. You also may be wondering, well, what is a kid's church? A smaller room, little pews, and a little kid comes out and gives a sermon about VeggieTales.
Nice!
The best I can describe it is that kids' church is like daycare, but more biblically themed. They sing songs,
You're not wrong.
play games, crafts, snacks, and sprinkling in a few memory verses here and there.
Salt Bay. Love
On
it.
the outside, it's actually a really good idea. I mean, the kids get to be engaged in programs that appeal to them because I'm pretty sure they aren't that interested in listening to a grown-up sermon.
Nope.
I know I wasn't. So ideally, it
Church
sounds
blah, blah, blah.
nice, but what it really is just a way parents can escape their misbehaving children by letting inexperienced, reluctant, older kids to deal with them instead. So naturally, some friends and I were chosen for this task. Personally, I don't have much of a problem with kids. Like, I've always thought that I was okay around them, and as long as they behave and do what they were told, then, hey, we'll get along just fine. Also, it wasn't the first time my friends and I have done it, so we figured this will just be an ordinary day of Kumbaya church. But nothing could have prepared me for this. I don't know if it's been scientifically proven that rainy weather is connected with kids' behavior being out of whack, but for some reason that day they were just out of control and they didn't want to do anything that we told them to do. Those two things are like the worst possible combination. They didn't want to sing, they didn't want to do the crafts, they kept running out of the classroom, which was honestly a safety hazard. You know how hard it is to be enthusiastic when they're not? Okay, kids, how about everybody stand up and we're gonna sing some songs?
Nothing.
Guys, they're not doing anything. What do we do? It's really hard to start
playing anyway.
Father Abraham when all they want to do is dab and talk about Fortnite. Well, that's just a mess. So as you can imagine, our patience was running pretty thin. For my friend, whom we'll call Andreen. She was just not having any of it. Like, I remember there was a kid that kept jumping up and down on the couches, even though we told him to stop, and eventually she just Singaporean style grabbed the kid and gave him eyes like, listen here, you little bean curd. If you do that one more time, I will destroy you. And I believed her. But, Andreen, you can't really say that here at church. Please don't hurt me.
Please
Don't
don't
get
hurt
me
me.
wrong. The Lord was testing me as well through this one kid whom we shall call Steve. Of all the misbehaving kids, he was probably like the worst. On top of being rebellious, super hyper, and should I also mention that he was the one jumping on the couch, he was also very fond of inflicting pain at my expense. Particular favorites were stomping on my toes and punching me. And they weren't soft punches either, and you know, unfortunately with his height and my height, often his punches were perfectly aligned with my, yeah, I was, pretty vulnerable. I did what I could at the time. I took him aside, firmly told him not to do that anymore or else I will get his parents involved. Unfortunately, that's all we were allowed to do. We pretty much did that with all the children, thinking that that should get them to calm down because, I mean, it definitely worked for us when we were kids, and that is how it should work,
Yes.
right? No? Is it just me? Okay, well, I don't know what to say anymore. Shortly afterwards, we were still in the middle of trying to contain the entire situation when Steve ran up to me and gave me a hug. And I was thinking, well, this is kind of random, but I mean, hey, maybe this is his way of apologizing and is now showing me some love. But I couldn't finish that sentence because I felt a sharp, piercing pain coming from my stomach. I looked down, and there Steve was, sinking his razor-sharp teeth into his prey, which was me. Oh my gosh, he just bit me! Okay, two things are running through my mind at this point. First of all, and I think this is pretty obvious, holy crap, a kid just bit me. And second of all, now I am put in a very difficult situation. On one hand, part of me wants to straight up cruel son smack this little bean curd because now it might be just personal opinion, but it's not very nice to just bite somebody for no reason. But the other part of me knows that if I hit him, I will get in serious trouble if I do. He is not my kid, and this is kids' church. So no official consent allowing the supervisors, i.e. us, to execute more physical measures of discipline. In situations like this, we are taught, if anyone slaps you on the right cheek, turn to him the other also. But I don't think this really pertains to this. It makes absolutely no sense for me to just turn around and let him bite me again. I'm not some kebab that'll just flip over so you can eat the other side. Overall, I was very conflicted. And I was doing literally everything I could to hold back my natural instincts to hit him back.
Do it!
Hold me back, Jesus. Maybe like 10-15 minutes went by after the bite, and I noticed that the pain is still there, which is a bit concerning, so I go to the bathroom to check myself out in the mirror. Ooh. And as I lift up my shirt... Oh yeah, I should mention that I was wearing a shirt this whole time. As I lift up my shirt, I could clearly see teeth marks and a little bit of blood coming out. Because of the large quantity of bacteria in the human mouth, a human bite can easily lead to infection. See a doctor about any bite that breaks the skin. Oh, well, great. Now I feel even worse. So even though it clearly broke skin, I guess I wasn't too concerned about it getting infected because, again, I was wearing a shirt, so at least I had that to protect me, I think. Right? Is that how it works? I don't know. Finally, we got through the whole thing. We had a talk with the parents, and we left them to deal with their kids, punishment or not. Eventually, Steve did apologize, but it was obviously one of those insincere apologies, like, sorry, but I'm only sorry because I was forced to. And then I told my friends about it, and they laughed at me, or didn't care. And that was at the end. If you're thinking that ending was unsatisfying, I agree. It was for me too. But, it's kind of one of those situations where revenge isn't justifiable. I mean, they're kids, so we have to take the high road and show maturity and restraint and just hope that they learn their lesson. I will say, though, that Steve definitely would have been sorry if I was flexing, though. Would have destroyed his teeth trying to bite into these rock-hard abs. Honestly, though, I think it just amazed us how out of control they all were, despite us warning them that we would get their parents involved. How did that not work? I get sometimes kids' church isn't that fun, but when we were their age, we knew to behave and take those warnings seriously, because if our parents found out that we caused even the slightest amount of trouble, we wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
So, yeah, in conclusion,
they can make another one just like us.
Was clearly not fun at all. And I don't know if I'm mentally prepared to go through that again. I'm still pretty scarred from it. Literally? Left a mark on my stomach. And moral of the story,
wow.
Don't tell others, because you never know. One day, they might decide to make a video about it and put it on YouTube.
Quarantainment.
So you might be wondering why I use the name Steve a lot in my videos. Well, there's no deep reason why. It's just I think it's a very convenient name, and I like the name Steve. It's not Steven, because I think the Steve is better. That's a joke. Quick note about the Toshis. If you were to buy a Toshi, is that the tongues will be red if you were to purchase it. It's just the one that I have is one of a kind, so can't have that one. In case you're wondering why it sounds so noisy in this recording, if it turns out to be noisy, is that I have fans going on right now because it's just really hot. So I'll just make this really quick. Thank you all so much for 400,000 subs and supporting this channel. I will see you all in the next video, which should be soon, hopefully. But until then, stay safe, wear your mask, and stay young.
And don't get bit by kids.
Yeah. That was...
Wow. I have never had a kid bite me.
Lucky.
I worked in kids' church, kids, basically the 3rd through 5th grade class for a time, at one point. I also worked in the youth, for a very long time. Never have had a kid bite me or even try to bite me.
You are a lucky individual.
Yeah.
I have some stories. My church background is a little more, let's say, colorful than yours. So when I was with a certain denomination that shall not be mentioned, there is a Boy Scouts-esque children's ministry.
Okay.
That is alliterative.
Okay.
I don't know if you know what I'm referring to.
No.
I can just come out and say it if that makes it easier. I just don't
We
know.
can cut it, you know.
Okay, so it's called Royal Rangers. It's with the Assembly of God.
Oh, okay. I have heard of that, yes.
Yes. I was a Royal Rangers commander.
Okay.
I was in charge of the, I don't remember what the name of it was, because that was years ago, but the youngest group, like the kindergarten age.
Yeah.
I cannot count the number of times that I had kids that would sit on my leg, and, you know, I'd walk and they'd be sitting on my legs.
Yeah.
Well, one of them decided to just take a huge honker out of the side of my calf. In the middle of a field exercise. So we were in the middle of the woods going on. It didn't pierce skin or anything like that.
Yeah.
My jeans were thick enough that it stopped anything. But that was not the first time I've gotten bitten. Another one, I was helping in the nursery, and there was a child teething.
Oh gosh.
So there was that, and then, you know, to go on with his kids get crazy when it's storming outside.
Yeah, they get
I've been in a
stir
youth
crazy
pastor twice.
Yeah.
At 2 different churches, and then obviously I've worked on youth staff outside of that multiple times. So yes, my background's a little more colorful than yours.
Well,
but
yeah.
I've been bitten
mean,
probably a handful of times. That's enough to be fingers. I don't know if it's enough to go to the next hand, but luckily none of them have broken skin. I don't have any permanent scars like he does, or at least at the time of the filming of that video.
Yeah.
But it was a rough day for Drewski on that one. So.
I mean, I guess my experience is I was with the older kids and stuff like that who have, I guess, moved on past that
I've been
point
bitten by
in
a
their
teenager.
life. Yeah, I have not.
I was bitten by a 14-year-old kid. The first time I held a lock-in as an assistant youth pastor at my old church. He, for some reason, thought it'd be a good idea, because it was a lock-in, so, you know, everybody fell asleep. Because that's how that works. You're supposed to stay up all night long, but they fell asleep. He thought it'd be a good idea by waking everyone up by biting them on the arm.
No.
Just and I'm like,
nope.
remind me again how old you are?
No,
14.
You're going home now.
Well, we couldn't sit home. It was a lock-in.
I have been in a lock-in where the parents got called. And they came and picked it up, so picked the child up.
Well, the senior pastor of the church handled the disciplinary part of the situation, but yeah, but technically speaking, it also could have been my fault because I was in charge of something, and so, you know, they're lock-ins. They have like physical activities, you know, like sports. Not me. Video games. Yeah. And then I was in charge of the group that was always playing board games. And it was called Getting Bored with Drew. And,
well,
and so I may have brought it upon myself at that point.
Speaking prophetically there, yes. They got bored of me, so they started biting each other. Hooray!
But yeah, literally, they made a whole a newsletter they were giving the parents, saying, this is what we're going to do at the lock-in. We're going to lock the doors at this time. We're going to have dinner at this time. We're going to have an afternoon snack, midnight snack.
Basically, an itinerary,
and,
yes.
Yeah, and so from, like, I think it was 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. or something like that, it was Getting Bored with Drew. B-O-A-R-D. And
wow.
I was the last thing that people were doing
if
if they didn't fall asleep. So, I mean...
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Wow. I mean...
That's my church background. And my resume. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, it's wow.
Oh, man. I haven't told that story in a while. That made me tear up.
Well, yeah, I mean...
Not out of pain, out of laughter.
Yeah.
I hope.
Oof. At the time, pain, yes, probably.
Oh, so the one on my calf was just sheer shock. It was like, what in the world just happened? Kind of like his situation. He just looks down and there's a child attached to him.
It was like, what the?
After speaking to the parent, I realized that the child was mentally handicapped.
Oh,
I'm not sure in what context. I don't know if it was on the spectrum or something different
Yeah.
than that. But the child was mentally handicapped, and that was their way of showing affection, was like little love nibbles. And she showed me on her arm where she had like little bites where he would say, because he couldn't verbalize "I love you" or anything caring like that. But it was just weird because I had one kid on this leg, and anyone that is a parent or has kids that are like little, they sit on your leg and you just walk with them sitting on your toes essentially.
Yeah.
And they're like bear hugging around your
calf muscle.
muscle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was not expecting to get bit. More importantly, I wasn't expecting to get bit by a child in the middle of the woods, thinking something else just bit me while a child is attached to me. So I reacted very interestingly because I picked up my leg and it was fast enough that if I would have done it faster, that kid would have went, yo!
Be like
I
Forrest
still don't know
Gump.
what was up with the 14-year-old.
Be like that scene in Forrest Gump. Something bit me.
Yum!
Oh man. Well, that was a very
Through the
interesting,
trees like a goalpost.
mostly relatable, I guess. Not necessarily for me, but for you, obviously, hit a little close to home. Apparently, obviously, you've worked through your trauma and you've had your time on the couch with the counselor, and you've gotten over, the traumatic experiences.
Well, yeah, obviously I'm not... I could have had a therapeutic moment where I could explain my story and all this stuff. I'm not that talented as an artist. Like, YoungYong. But
Yeah.
does he have an actual name, or is that just what his channel's called?
That's what his channel is. I'm sure he has a name.
Oh, okay.
I'm not familiar
Well,
with,
Toshi? Is that
the
his
plushie?
nickname?
Yeah, the Toshi. The plushie.
Okay.
That was the plushie.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was based off his character.
No, he took tofu and plushie and mushed it together.
Understood. Okay. I obviously not talented enough to therapeutically explain my situation in the same manner he did, so you're stuck with me rambling about children who have overactive
Cannibalism
bicuspids.
tendencies. Oh.
Cannibalistic tendencies. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Actually, I just realized I got bit last week. So, one of the...
Do I want to know the story? Or
Yeah,
do I just...
one of my stepkids lost their tooth, and they were like having me feel, and she had a sharp canine, and yeah, so
Okay.
that was painful.
Yeah, they're called canines for a reason, not just because they look like a dog's. Dog's tooth or anything. No, they're designed to tear flesh apart. And that's the
Chicken, beef, pork,
Yes.
not
Not
long
human.
pig, no long pig. Cannibalism is wrong
Yes, yes, it is.
and frowned upon in most states of the United States. All 50 states.
Okay. Yes, would be all of them.
I thought there was one where you could I don't know.
No, there is not. Okay, even if there is, no, there is not. Wrong. No, we're ending this.
What happens in Alaska stays in Alaska. No, I'm just kidding.
That's not cannibalism. That's just a bear eating you.
It's too cold to find food. They don't have Walmart or Price Cutter or Harps in the woods.
But they have ice fish holes.
I don't fish. I know how. I understand for the survival purposes, fishing is a thing.
Yes.
I don't understand how people can be like, I got off work early today. I'm going to go load up my tackle box and go fishing. I never comprehended sport fishing or fishing for recreation.
Sometimes it isn't about catching the fish. Sometimes it's just sitting and chilling and relaxing.
That is the most unrelaxing thing possible because you're sitting there. Oh, there goes my bobber. There's my bobber.
Not necessarily.
And
You can just cast it.
all of the bait is gone.
Maybe you don't
Load
even
it back
have...
up, and he nibbles it all off again. That is the most stressful thing I have ever experienced is recreational fishing to relax.
Then you're
Put
not...
a blood pressure monitor on me next time. Yeah,
then
that
that's
thing goes off.
not true recreational fishing. True recreational fishing is you don't necessarily have bait on your line. You just have a bobber just sit there and bob up and down on the waves, nothing on the hook. You just cast, you sit back like this, pull the hat down, and just close the eyes.
Well, that just sounds like a waste of time.
To each their own. Anyways, the link to this video will be in the description below. Be sure to go to YoungYong's Tales channel. Watch his video a couple more times. Give him the views and whatnot. Just like, anytime, we do a Jaden animation, we always want to promote them because they're, fellow content creators and we want them to succeed. So, go check them out. Check the video out. Until the next video, next time, whatever we do, we don't know at this point. Maybe. So, bye-bye and be blessed, everyone.